everyone, and welcome to our Monday Minute. Today we're going to discuss the most recent updates to the IDG requirements for marriage and family therapists and mental health counselors. In the final rule last year, they made it part of the conditions of participation for hospice that hospices could now have family therapists and mental health counselors as a part of the IDG. Be careful to understand that it is not a requirement that any hospice hire a marriage and family therapist or mental health counselor. It is basically become a change because it has been recognized that these marriage and family therapists and mental health counselors can provide the counseling services that are required under the hospice conditions of participation. Also be careful to understand that part of that section or that condition of requirement includes that the patient also have access to social services. Social services as well as counseling are required portions of the condition of participation. Marriage and family counselors and mental health counselors cannot provide the social work aspect of this requirement. Therefore, if a hospice chooses to hire one of those two, they will still have to have a social worker. Also know that part of the conditions of participation, which has been the case for years, is that social worker services provided for hospice patients must be provided by or under the direct supervision of a social worker holding a master's in social work. The hospice can utilize social workers with a bachelor's degree, but they must be supervised by a master's of social work. The marriage and family therapists and mental health counselors can be named part of the IDG and can participate, of course, in development of the patient's care plan. Also know that if you choose to hire these therapists or mental health counselors, they must be direct employees. They cannot be contracted. The employee status, they can be salaried, can be hourly, can be per diem, but they must be considered employees. That also means that they can be volunteers because as a volunteer, they are deemed employees of the hospice. The question and answer session that was a part of the hospice open door forum on November 29th produced many answers to the questions surrounding these marriage and family therapists and mental health counselors. We will provide you a link to that Q&A in this minute. We appreciate all that you do for hospice patients on a daily basis and encourage you to reach out to Healthcare Provider Solutions at any point you need assistance or any additional questions that you might have regarding social worker services and counseling services for your hospice patients. Have a fabulous week.